What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Happy Friday. Happy Firebird Friday. What's Firebird Fridays with your man, 100 grand Jamal Boss Eagle Curry. And some of y'all probably already just know who I am. You're like, why you got to introduce yourself? But welcome to Firebird Friday, my Facebook Live series where I come on here and I talk to y'all about music and stuff that's going on. Let me just go ahead and double check real quick, make sure we are broadcasting live, and we are. And as always, we are going to share this bad boy. Happy last Friday, y'all. Seriously, last Friday of May. What's going on, Anthony? How you doing? Let me go ahead and share this real quick. Let's say live now. What? Boom. Post that. I'm going to share it on my other page. I have another page called Business Minded Musicians. So if you're a music artist out there, you can jump on that. And then let me go ahead and share real quick again. Switch this up. I'm going to share it publicly. All right. Hopefully that worked. I don't know if it did, but oh, it did. Okay, cool. It didn't give me a chance to put anything in a description. But that's all right. Hey, look, y'all, if you want to do me a quick favor, it would be awesome if you are watching this right now or if you're watching this later. It's all good. Go ahead and share this video. That would be super duper awesome. Just kind of a way to help kind of spread the music and all that good stuff. And if you do share this, what am I going to do? I'm going to do a giveaway. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a giveaway. So if you go to my page, Boss Eagle Music, or just whatever, if you share wherever you're watching this from, go ahead and click that little share button. It looks like a little arrow, a little swoop. And if you go ahead and share this, then I'm going to do a giveaway. Since it's summer, right, I'm going to give away a pair of Boss Eagle sunglasses. I'm looking around like, y'all like, what's going on with your boy? Like, I'm looking around right now trying to find a pair. I don't have any right now. I think they're in the car, but there's some in my merch bin over there, I think. But I'm gonna give away a pair of sunglasses. They've seen them. They're the white ones. They say Boss Eagle on the side. I got the little eagle on there, and they come with a pouch. Like, that's also it doubles as a cleaning thing too. So go ahead and share this, and I'm gonna give away a pair of Boss Eagle sunglasses. I might throw something else in there for you too. Just go ahead, click on that share button. And that would be awesome. Also, if you all can hear me, if you can hear this video, if you can see this, if everything's coming through clear, go ahead and click that thumbs up so I can know that you're seeing this, that you're hearing this, and it's coming through live and direct to you. So we're going to jump right into it. Today's episode of Firebird Fridays, Facebook Live. And I'm super, super, super excited for this first little topic that we're getting into today. A new music campaign is kind of what I have written there on the description. And that is because, as you may or may not know, I'm actually currently working on some new music, and I'm super, super, super excited about it. If you've ever undertaken a creative endeavor, it is a labor of love, to say the least. It doesn't happen easy. It's not quick. And especially as a music artist making an album, it just takes a lot of time. And I know people out there are like, oh, just make singles. And it's like, I got some thoughts. I have my own view on that, which I won't get into right now. I'll probably make a video about it and put it on Business Minded Musicians. But I am, as some of y'all may know, working on another album. My first album came out oh goodness, wow, it was probably, so that was a year and a half ago now. November 17, and debuted on Friday. Came out Friday the 17th of November, the day before my birthday. It was really cool. Thank you to so many of you who have supported the album along the way. That's my computer's like freaking out on the screen there. But thank you to so many of y'all for supporting the album. It was definitely an awesome process. It started out as kind of a single, then I was gonna maybe do an EP, then it turned into an album. It was literally about a 10-month, maybe longer, 10, 11-month process. It was about a year long process, in terms of just everything from the writing, recording, mixing, and mastering. It's a long process, but I love it. I love making music. It is what I've wanted to do since I was a kid. I know a lot of people say that, like, oh, ever since I was a kid, I always dreamed of, and I'm like, I actually did. I know I do a lot of different things, but being a music artist, being a stage performer, doing music is like literally what I dreamed about since I was a kid. So I am now doing that, in the process of doing that. It is not as glamorous as it seems. I am obviously clearly not a household name or anything like that. It's a slow moving ship. It's a slow process, but it is it's so much fun. I love being able to do this, and be able to share the stage with so many amazing artists, and to be able to share my story, my music. And with that, I'm actually working on some new music. I know I've hinted to it, I've alluded to it. I've actually been performing 2 new songs. I've done a couple of shows here. I did Foco MX, which it was a music festival back at the end of April. And then just, was it on the 23rd? So yeah, last Thursday, did a show up here in Fort Collins. It was the Enough show with Bevan Luna and Mahali. And that was a super eclectic bill, super eclectic lineup. And we had a ton of fun over there at Avos, had a great crowd. And so what I'm doing right now is kind of, it's kind of one of those things I like to say, and I did not make this up. Somebody else, I've heard this, but I like to say it. Is just that idea of you don't know what you don't know. And I think that's something that we can all remember, especially if we're trying out something new or doing something different or whatever, is that you don't know what you don't know. And for me, the way I've kind of been employing that idea in the last however long year or so is actually in regards to my first album, because I didn't have anything prior to that. I didn't have any, mixtapes, or I didn't have some huge social media following. I'm not a YouTuber. I wasn't big on like YouTube or Instagram. I was actually, kind of late to the game in a lot of ways with a lot of the social media, and really kind of got thrust into it as a music artist, and kind of had to be like, okay, I've got to learn this. I've got to learn how to navigate this stuff. And it's a learning process for sure. But again, I had never gone through really the process of making music. And so I like to say, yeah, you don't know what you don't know. And so I didn't really know what I was doing when I made my first album. I didn't know what I was doing in terms of, just the efficiency of how to, go into the studio. I was like, okay, I got some material. Okay, so now I'm going to go in or whatever. And whereas now I'm like, okay, let me have a little bit more done in terms of the creation process, the writing process, and then try to really maximize the studio time. I didn't know what I was doing in terms of marketing. I had a buddy of mine a buddy of mine, Alex, put it the best way. I think he said something like, you made an album under the radar. Like, and just kind of like, yeah, that's true. I kind of made an album under the radar. Like, I really didn't like promote it, like, cause I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, I was just making an album and, that kind of thing. And I was doing, a couple open mics, and I did a performance and interview with KCSU, the radio station here at Colorado State University, the greatest university on the planet. Thank you very much. Go Rams. And but I really didn't, know a whole heck of a lot of what I was doing. August of 2017, I go to a music conference in Nashville. I hear a hip hop artist talk about making the Billboard charts. I'm like, what? Didn't even know that was possible. Kind of thing is like, don't you have to be a big name or have a record label? Came back from that in August of 17 with a goal. I'm like, I'm going to try to make the Billboard charts. And then proceeded to try to do that. So I started advertising my album release party, probably like early October. And then didn't really, I didn't really have much of a pre-release. I had a pre-release for 2 weeks. That started November 3rd. That was the 3rd through the 17th. And then for Billboard reporting, just so you guys kind of know how that works, albums usually drop on a Friday, and that's what they consider your release week, is Friday to Thursday. So everything up to that and including that week, that's how they calculate or total up your sales. And then that's how they determine, your charting and positioning and things like that. So, but through that process, I learned a ton. Going through that and actually talking to someone on the phone from Nielsen SoundScan, who reports, these are the ratings people, like when you ever see like the Nielsen ratings and all that. They're a reporting agency. They do all these other things. So Nielsen SoundScan collects the data for Billboard. They report to Billboard. that type of thing. And then the Billboard charts come out, et cetera, et cetera. But in talking to an agent, talking to a rep, she was like, I had learned that there's something like you had like 8 weeks and you had your release week, so a total of 9 weeks. But she was like, no, she's like, you can have a pre-sale, you can pre-release for like a decade if you want to. Nobody's going to do that. That's ridiculous. But she's like, what matters is when you determine your release date. That's kind of when, I guess, the clock starts, right? But you can pre-sale as far out as you want. So I had wanted to jump into this process earlier. I'm a little bit behind, probably about a couple months behind, just with a lot of other stuff going on. But I am going to be launching a new music campaign for this new album. And again, just that whole idea of trying to do things differently now, because now I know what I know. It's not you don't know what you don't know. There's still a lot that I don't know, but I know more about this process now. There's a lot of stuff music industry and recording industry wise that no one's ever going to know everything. But as far as like going through this process of creating an album, releasing an album, the recording process, all that, it's gonna be different this time around. So I'm working with the same producer. So if you guys like the Firebird album, you are gonna love this next album. I have not said what the title of it is yet. What's going on, Molly? I haven't said what the title of the next album is yet. I'm keeping that a little bit of a surprise, but it will be coming out. So I will be revealing that here soon. But right now, I'm just kind of getting it out there that I'm going to be starting a new music campaign. And basically what that's going to look like is trying to approach this second album differently from the first album, now knowing what I know. So I'm going to be marketing it a whole heck of a lot more, promoting it a lot more, using those channels, social media and email marketing, all these things that I've learned in the past, year or so now that I didn't know before, that to hopefully help kind of propel the second album a lot better than I was able to the first time around. Because again, I just had jumped into the first album, didn't really know what I was doing, but we still did great, and it playing on the radio, and we made the Billboard charts. So hey, and so just even thinking like, man, if I now the things that I know, and I know more people, I have more industry contacts, I have a lot more that's kind of going on now, that I didn't have the first time around. So I'm really, really, really hoping to be able to do something really special with this second album. So again, not telling the name just yet, but what I am going to be doing, just and you all will see more as it comes out, is I'm going to be just kind of starting by, just starting to raise some initial funds to help, to pre-sell the album, with that, process starting a lot sooner than I did last time, where I had a 2-week pre-sale and then like the release week. I'm looking at probably like at least a few months of pre-sale this time, and then going into that release week. And a big part of what's happening with the second album, which I will share, and you guys are gonna I'm gonna go into detail more like in like future communications and stuff. But that first time around with the album, the goal was to make the Billboard charts, and we did that. I didn't chart on like the rap charts or like the top 200 or anything like that, which would have been awesome. But hey, first time around to make the Billboard charts, I think that's still a really cool thing, and just such a sweet blessing and opportunity. This time around, the goal is a little bit different. Obviously we still want to make the charts. I'd love to try to make some of the rap charts and all those things, but it also depends on, there's a lot of other things that happen with that too, like who else is releasing that week. If Eminem or Jay-Z or Kanye or Migos or somebody drops rap albums, then I'm probably going to be blown out of the water because of their popularity and all those types of things. So there's lots of other factors that go into that. But still, I think it would be awesome to do that. I think also I'm going to try to hit some of the iTunes charts this time around as well. I've got a buddy who's a hip hop artist out of the Bay Area. I just got his email not too long ago. He made an iTunes chart too, so that might be something we look at. Although I do tend to focus more on Spotify than iTunes or Apple Music, but that's something I'm going to be looking into as well. But the big thing, because this is just kind of who I am. I'm kind of this overly ambitious person. And I'm a big dreamer, but it's really kind of the only way that I know how to live. I think I might have mentioned this before, but the goal this time around is to get a Grammy nomination. Let that sink in for a second. Yes, I said the Grammys, not like my grandma and her friends like sitting around listening to music and deciding which song they like, the like Grammys, like old ladies. I literally mean like the Academy, the Grammy Academy, like the people who put on a big show every February and all your favorite artists get dressed up and attend. And that is not an easy task. There are some things that have changed in terms of I had this original goal of actually joining the Grammy Academy, and they've changed some things. So a lot of stuff is changing, and things are different now. But again, that whole idea of also making making some of those connections and those types of things. I'm going to be pursuing just even some advice and guidance on even how to do that. That artist that I told you about, the one that I learned about making the Billboard charts, if I'm not mistaken, he actually also got nominated for a Grammy and was in a category with like Jay-Z and maybe some other like really big name people. So I know that sounds, like I said, sounds really crazy, and that's a huge lofty goal, but why not set huge goals, right? Now I'm not saying that this is going to happen, and I'm going to, make get a Grammy nod or anything like that, but I just think it would be awesome. And again, if you guys kind of know me and know what I'm about and what I'm trying to do, it's not just for me. It's not just so I could be like, oh, I got a Grammy nomination. Like, I'm going to talk about this here in a second because it's the third item on the agenda today. But I'm really passionate about the next generation. I'm really passionate about artist education. I'm really passionate about independent artistry, DIY artists. Again, I'm not anti-record label. I'm not anti getting a deal. If you want to go out and get a deal, that's totally fine. But I truly believe that there has never been a better time to be an independent musician. I believe truly that there's never been a point in history where it's been more possible to have a career as an independent musician and not need a record label, not need necessarily management and all these other things, because there's so many resources out there that a lot of artists, again, we don't know what we don't know. That could be anybody, right? So there's a lot of stuff that we just don't know what we don't know. And that's where I see part of my role being that guy to go out and say, hey, I learned this. I'm going to bring it back to my tribe. Hey guys, I went out and I went to this conference, or I've been exposed to this, or I took this online course, or I'm in this person's mastermind, or I'm in this person's coaching program, or I'm in this person's inner circle, which I am. I'm currently actually in a coaching mastermind with Rick Barker, who was Taylor Swift's first manager. He's the one that took her from MySpace to superstardom. And so I have four or five monthly calls. So like literally his face shows up on my computer screen, and we have, there's questions that are coming through, and it's a group coaching thing too. So I'm learning even from other artists as well. And he just broadcasts from Nashville. That's where he is. And so, so I'm involved in a lot of these things. And what I want to do is I want to take that stuff and I want to be able to help other artists. I want to be able to see artists be able to actually have viable careers in music, because it can be done. And I want to see artists get paid to do their art, to do what they love, because it can be done. Part of my story also, as some of you all may know, my uncle, Eugene Lamb Chops Curry, was, especially big in like the 80s and 90s and stuff like that. I was actually talking to a guy, an older gentleman who actually plays. His band is like the one of like the set, like the house bands here at like a big venue in Denver. And got connected through him through this like music show that was gonna happen, that I kind of got, I got cast for to like host this music TV show that actually kind of fell through. But it was this guy's actually brainchild, and he went out and found this like producer and all this stuff. But when we were talking, he was like, I heard about your uncle. He's like, Eugene Lamb Chops Curry? He's like, yeah. He's like, I never met him. He's like, but when I was in LA in like the 80s and 90s, he's like, I heard his name like, so much and everything too. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. But one of the things I remember from my uncle in particular is just, him being in court for so long, just trying to get paid, trying to, get what was actually his, what I mean, that he rightfully had earned as a writer and as a producer and all these other things. And I just feel like now with technology, now with resources, now with YouTube, now with all these things that are out there, we can actually set up viable businesses and make sure we're handling our business, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. So I don't want to get too much into it, but that's kind of where for me, with the whole Billboard charting and all those other things too, it's not just some fancy thing to say or just some cool resume piece. It's because I want other artists to see what's possible. I want them to be like, whoa, he did it? Like, okay, it's doable. Like, and even more, like, leapfrog me, jump over me, like, do bigger and better things too. Like, be the Elon Musk of independent music. Like, go do your thing. You know what I mean? So that's part of the goal of the goal of wanting to get a Grammy nomination, so that other independent and DIY artists can see and look at it and say, hey, I don't have to be Rihanna. I don't have to be Jay-Z. I don't have to be Bruno Mars to just even get on the ballot. You know what I mean? Like, when? I don't know. That's a whole other thing. And you know what I mean? But hey, Macklemore did it, you know, without a label. You know, he has distribution now, but you know what I mean? So it is possible. You know, you look at Chance the Rapper, you look at a lot of people who are doing it, going the indie route. And if you gain enough momentum and you're able to build up, it can be done. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to plug my phone in real quick because it just kind of flashed on me. So I was like, oh, I should probably plug this in, make sure we got power all the way through. All right, cool. So more will be coming out about that. More information about the new music campaign. You guys are going to be seeing that as kind of the way I have it designed right now. It's actually a 10 phase strategy. So this is that weird thing when I tell you guys, like, I'm like almost complete, like, right brain, left brain. It's really weird. I'm about 60-40. I'm about 60% right brain, about 40% left brain. And so I go into these weird, like, I love Excel spreadsheets and like music data and statistics and all that stuff too. But I am a dominant, like, right brain. I love the artistry side, the music creation, performing live, all that good stuff. But all that's to say, it is going to be rolled out in phases. And so you'll see more and more. It'll probably start to build more and more momentum over these next few weeks and months and stuff. So be on the lookout for that, for the new music, my new music campaign, as I'm promoting my new upcoming album that I'm working on right now. So second thing, summer shows. Got a lot of stuff coming up in terms of shows, which is going to be so awesome. I'm super excited about. It's always hard to kind of be like, okay, let me throw up all these shows on you, because then people are like, they, in business, they always say, like, a confused mind always says no. So I don't want to confuse you. I don't want to, like, you know, for you to be like, oh my goodness, like, there's so much that you're throwing at me. But I do just want to let you know that I do have a handful of shows that are on the books right now. Got 3 this month. The first one is not next Friday, but the Friday after, on June 14th. And then I have a show after that on June 21st and then June 29th. So there's 3 coming up here in June. Those are, I just put a post on the Boss Eagle Music page here on Facebook. I also updated my personal profile, so if you're watching this on my profile as well. So I do have those 3 shows coming up. I'm super excited. On the 14th of June, I'll be at the Louisville Street Fair. So that's, excuse me, that's in the Steinball Pavilion. So rain or shine, it is a covered structure. It is actually a pavilion. So even if it, hopefully, God willing, it will not rain, because the Louisville Street Fair is just going to be like, basically like, you know, just a fun just event. So there'll be food and games, like all kinds of stuff going on. So bring the whole family. That one's going to be fun. And then the week after that, I'm so excited. I'm going to be performing at Hody's, which I've never performed at Hody's before. I've been to shows at Hody's. So this is going to be really exciting. So thank you so much to Molly and Ramon at BBMC for inviting me to be on this bill with you guys. I'm so honored to do that. So that's going to be headlined by Whiteout with Scott Free. Night Wolves, BBMC obviously is on that bill as well. And they're going to be playing the Hip Hop on the Hillside this summer too. So y'all make sure y'all go check them out. Love those guys. Low is also going to be on there. Love Low, man. We've crossed paths a couple times here in the music community as well. It was funny because I was at his set at Foco MX, and he had just like his album they wanted to give away for free, and I literally, like, I just took his albums and I just started handing them out to the crowd. And he's like, man, that's awesome. He's like, man, that's Boss Eagle, y'all. He's like, that dude saved my life. Like, I was like, I don't know how I saved his life, but I appreciate that. It sounded like, it reminded me of Kanye in the song All Falls Down. He's like, Selena, he's like, thank you, you saved my life. Talking about Selena Johnson, not Selena Gomez, but Selena Johnson, who was on that track with him. Love that track, All Falls Down, by old school Kanye. But then, yeah, and also be on that too. So that's going to be at Hody's on June 21st. That is also a Friday night. And then I have a show that is almost, I think, ready to be announced. Sometimes we have to keep some of these things under wraps, but I will be in Denver, planning to be in Denver on June 29th. So I have TBA on the website. So just be on the lookout for that. I'll get that information out to you as soon as I'm able to. It's not that I'm trying to keep you guys in the dark. It's just that with some shows, they have to make sure that everything's in line, and then they tell us when we can start promoting it. So I'll get that information to you guys when I can. July, I only have one for July right now. That's at the end, or I'm sorry, two in July. I'm sorry, two. The first one is July 27th. That's going to be at the Levitt Pavilion in Denver. That's going to be a huge show. That one is also free. It's the Levitt Pavilion does some free concerts throughout the summer and some paid ones. So I'm opening up for Lyrics Born, who's a huge MC out of the Bay Area. It's going to be a ton of fun. That one's just going to be a super fun event. So again, just come out, bring the family. It's just going to be just a fun summer night. That's going to be so sick. My boys played the show with him last year, and they're like, this is going to be just such a great fit. That like his band is awesome. So I'm super excited about that show. And then sometime that weekend, probably maybe the day after, I'm on the lineup for the UMS. So I'm doing Underground Music Showcase again this year. So I'm super excited about that. We played last year, had an amazing time, amazing crowd came out, had so much fun. And I love festivals because you get just like so many people coming in and everything. So it's going to be a blast. So be on the lookout for that too. I don't know the venue yet. I don't think that's all been decided. So that's why it says TBA as well. So once I have the venue and the time and all that, I'll update that stuff too. And then I have a show slated in August. Again, another one of those that I can't talk about. But that should be changing here soon. So hopefully next week I'll be able to talk about the details of the August show. We just got an email yesterday that there's kind of some final little bit of information that has to be submitted, and then we should hopefully be able to pump that information out to you guys. So be on the lookout. So again, hate to vomit all these shows on you. Just want to tell you that there's a lot of stuff coming up over the summer. So mark your calendars. Find a show that's close to you, or one that you feel like you might be able to come to. A lot of them, like the Louisville Street Fair, the Levitt Pavilion, the Lyrics Born show in July, those are free. So come out to those. Like those are just going to be a ton of fun, and just like eat some funnel cake and like come listen to some good music, right? The show on the 14th in 2 weeks, I'm opening up for Los Mocochetes. So they're like Chicano, like funk. Like it's gonna be, like it's gonna be fun. Like y'all gonna have to come check that out for sure. Cool. So that's that. This has gone on way too long. Okay. Lastly, business-minded musicians. I was mentioning earlier, kind of when I was talking about that whole idea of like, like what I want to also do as a music artist. I've started this new brand called Business-Minded Musicians, and it really is like, it's something I'm super passionate about, because it kind of involves like both these sides of my brain. So being the artist, but then also artist education and the marketing and business side of things too. So I do Facebook Lives like this on Mondays. I call them Music Biz Mondays, and so I do them over there. I do share them to this page too, to my Boss Eagle music page. But if you are a music artist, an independent DIY artist, or if you know someone who is, definitely go ahead and send them over to that page, because I've just started it. I've only done it's only been going for like a few weeks right now, but it's been growing organically. It's been really cool. And there's a lot of information that's coming out. So I do a lot of things. We're going to be talking about tech, resources, tips and tricks, professional development, artist education type stuff, marketing things. So really things that can help you grow your business, even if it's little social media hacks or different things that you can do. You might be like, oh, I never even knew that existed. Or, hey, I saw somebody that did this. I saw this on this artist page, and I never knew how they did that or whatever. We can talk about a lot of those things, but what I really want to do is help artists focus on the business of their music so that they can take control of their music career and get paid to do what they love. So how we can even start to look at how you utilize resources and different things to advance your music career. So if you know anyone who we think this information, this type of stuff would be helpful for. I've also got a YouTube channel and those types of things too. But if you know someone that you think would be a blessing to and that it would really serve, or if that's you, go ahead and join that page. Like I said, I do the Facebook Lives on Mondays, but I'm going to also start doing some more recorded videos as well and popping them on the YouTube channel for you guys to view, and hopefully you get a lot of value from, because like I said, I've learned a lot even outside the music industry, which I think has been phenomenal, because a lot of people that I'm learning from are entrepreneurs and marketers and social media people and people in other industries. But I'm like, you can take this stuff and easily apply it to basically any industry. So as I'm learning from, the best marketing minds and the best social media minds and the people in email marketing and all these other things, I'm like, man, we need to be employing this because we are musicpreneurs. We are entrepreneurs. We're business people as well. And you have to start treating your music like a business if you want it to be a business and be able to make a living from it. So, with that said, y'all, I don't know what is going on with my phone. It just like went dark on me there. This video is super too long. So hope y'all have a great Friday. Happy last Friday of May. Happy June tomorrow. That's going to be so awesome. I'm so thankful. The sun is shining bright outside my window there. What is going on? My phone went dark on me like that. It's all good though. But yeah, like I said, check out Business Minded Musicians. Make sure you mark your calendar for all those summer shows, and also be on the lookout for more stuff coming out with this new music campaign that I'm going to be going through to promote my new album that I am working on. So God bless y'all. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace.